Hey, Shalom, brothers. The scripture says that there's nothing new under the sun. And the reason why it says that is because the scriptures lets us know that there's such thing as reincarnation. And the earth is renewed. People are renewed, right? Animals are renewed, right? There's nothing new under the sun. And also the practices. Now, the practice that we're getting in today is calling upon the ancestors, which is huge right now. Huge, 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 huge. This is one of the biggest practices right now. And the reason why it's so big, it's because it used to be big in the past as well, right? There's nothing new upon the earth, which means that this was practiced before, right? Just like before, people used to wear bell bottoms, and bell bottoms is coming back in style again. Same thing. People used to call upon the ancestors, and now they're doing it again, right? It went out of style, or it was outlawed for a time, and now it's coming back in style, or it's coming back in law. Now, calling upon the ancestors, if you ask someone who promotes it, they'll let you know, or they'll try to enlighten you and let you think that it's for your good, right? Now, they don't understand that these things are all outlawed according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Now, the reason why they think it's good is because they're going to tell you that the ancestors is going to warn you of certain issues about people, right? About life choices, and of decisions that you should make. Now, all of that sounds good, right? There's always a sell, right? For everything that there's a sell. But there's also going to be a negative to something as well. You can't just say, oh yeah, this sounds good, and yeah, there's no downside. So what's the downside to calling upon the ancestors? Well, you're performing a ritual, right? Which is really a witchcraft ritual. And you're going to open up a portal to the spirit world that you won't know how to close, right? And you don't know, well, the majority of you people won't know how to appease that spirit or how to quiet that spirit. And that's very, very dangerous, because sometimes you're going to call upon spirits that are not good. Right? Who said your ancestor was a good person? Right? Did you just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna call upon my great granddad? Who told you that your great granddad wasn't a damn demon? Who told you that? You could be calling upon a damn demon, man. Right? But I'm gonna play this clip real quick, and then I'm gonna get into the scriptures, because this is something that our people are starting to practice more and more and more. And if you could tell where they are, they're in the woods, right? Who's the god of the woodland, right? That's going to be Pan, right? Who was Pan? Well, that's something that I'm not even going to go into who Pan was today. I'm only going to do calling upon the ancestors. But that's something that, the brothers can go deeper into. You should already know who Pan is. Pan is the goat god, right? Or the god of the woodland would be Kernunos or Cernunos, right? The woodland god or the deer god, right? He's literally on, there's an alcohol with him on it. The alcohol is known as, and it's actually a green bottle as well. It's a liqueur, Jägermeister. Yeah, Jägermeister or something like that. That's that god that's on the bottle, Okay.
We're trying to make the earth, sun, land, water, all terrestrial and aquatic things that shall be of Christ. Yes. And I think that it's a great and conspicuously he articulates his words in some formal way that the Jamaicans and the world shall see. We are going to check the ancestors. Yo. Call out to the ancestors. Call out to the ancestors.
Right? See, they're trying to evoke. They're trying to call upon something. Right? And they're in the woods doing this, which, hey, they're in the right place. But when they call upon that thing, they won't know how to close that door. Right? Easy to open a door. Sometimes it's not as easy to close a door. This is 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 4. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the hosts of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. So those were our three ways, or our three forms of communication where we can communicate with the Lord, or the Lord communicates with us, right? Because you don't have the Most High's phone number, right? First of all, that was a priestly thing to do, right? That was done through the Levites, right? And the first one was by dream, right? The Lord communicates with us through dreams, right? What proves that? This is Job 33 and 15. It says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberance upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man, right? So that's one way that the Most High communicates with us, and he communicates with us every single night when we go to sleep, right? And he puts in our instructions on what we are going to do on a day-to-day basis. That's why wicked men don't sleep, right? That's why wicked people do not sleep, trying to hide themselves from getting instructed from the Most High. So it says, neither by dream nor by Urim, right? What was the Urim? The Urim was something that the Levites had upon their breastplates, which contained 12 stones, which would show signs, right? Which kings can go to and ask what should their decision be, right? It would the priest would then give them a yea or a nay from the Heavenly Father, okay? Nor by prophets, right? Nor by prophets, right? So that's the only way that the children of Israel can communicate with the Most High. So can we communicate with the Most High by what those men were doing? Or by you people communicating with familiar spirits? No, you cannot. That's against the law. Okay, let's keep reading. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit. What is that? Because the Bible says familiar spirit a lot. When it says familiar spirit, what is that talking about? That's talking about a damn demon. Right? So this woman had a familiar spirit, meaning that she knows how to communicate with the dead, right? She walks with the dead, right? That's why a lot of these people nowadays will tell you that they are protected. What are they protected by? They're protected by spirits. They walk with spirits, right? because they know how to awaken those spirits, and they know how to control those spirits as well. But the way that you control those spirits is by appeasing them. And the majority of those spirits are only appeased by blood, by sacrifice, animal and human sacrifice. This is just what it is. Okay? This is from Supernatural Wiki, and this is blood. It says blood is an important component in many rituals, weapons, spells, and other aspects of the supernatural world. Usage, rituals, and spells. Okay? Creating an angel banishing sigil requires human blood or angel blood. Using the goblet of blood requires fresh blood from a human victim, although animal blood can be used as a substitute. Okay. Summoning a demon that was previously exorcised requires the blood of the original exorcist. Okay. Angel tracking ritual, the ritual which Castile uses to track down Balthazar, requires human blood. See? These are all things that require human blood, man. This is not no joke. Soul-proofing spell requires the blood of the soulless person's father or the equivalent of a father. The father must also be killed. Summoning Samhain. What's Samhain? That's around Halloween. Requires 3 blood sacrifices. 3 blood sacrifices. And then you people wonder why so many people die around that time, or people get hurt, because around that time they need blood to open up the portal so they can communicate with the spiritual world. Why? Because Samhain, that's the witches, that's a high holy day. That's a witch's high holy day, man. All right? That's the number 1 high holy day of the witch. Halloween. Okay? And we could keep reading, but that's I just wanted to make a point. So back in verse 7, then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said unto him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. So what is this letting you know? This is letting you know that there is a right hand and there is a left hand. Always has been. So for you people that try to hide from the left hand side, there's no need to hide from it. Yes, it exists. Yes, it's powerful. Yes, it does. It's very powerful. Right? Just like how we were able to communicate with the Most High through Urim, that's how these people on the left-hand side are able to communicate through, oh my gosh, what is that thing known as? When they look, scrying, it's known as scrying, right? Where they're able to communicate with spirits through a crystal ball, or like the rapper said, Slick Rick, mirror, mirror on the wall, right? And he was given a vision. Or you can scry through water, right? Right? The water, like if you go to a lake and you look at the lake, you can scry through a lake. It's known as scrying, right? Because you're given visions, right? Or you're given an answer. Okay? It says, then said Saul, well, we read that, verse 8, and Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die? See, so this woman was a very powerful person because she knew who she was talking to. So she was using her brain on him. She knew who he was, even though he disguised himself. And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. That's all the woman wanted to hear. Then said the woman, who shall I bring up to thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And a woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. Right? She already knew that. She already knew it was Saul. Okay? She just was trying to protect herself. She was trying to protect her life. Okay? She says, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw God's ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself like an idiot. And Samuel said unto Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. What is this known as? Calling on the ancestors. Okay, let's keep reading. Then said Samuel, wherefore then doest thou ask me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? So if the Lord is not speaking to you through the dreams, if the Lord is not speaking to you by prophets, why the hell are you calling upon me? Okay, I can't help you, my guy. Verse 17, and the Lord hath done to him as he spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyedest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Who's Amalek? Amalek are you people over there in the land of Israel today that wear small hats. Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me dead. Samuel's telling him, you're going to die. So can you call upon the ancestors? And can the ancestors give you answers? Yes, they can. Is it a righteous thing? No, it's not. Okay. The Lord also shall deliver the hosts of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway all along the earth, and were sore afraid because the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all day, nor all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, behold, thine handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto thy words which thou hast spoken unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thine handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength when thou goest out thy way. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants together with the woman compelled him, and he hearkened unto the voice. So he arose from the earth and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hastened and killed it and took flour and kneaded and baked unleavened bread thereof, and she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat, and then arose up and went away that night. This is 1 Chronicles 10 verse 13. So Saul died for his transgressions, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord. Therefore he slew him and turned the kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse. Right? So is it righteous to call upon the ancestors? No, it's wickedness, and you're going to die for it. This is Leviticus 19 verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, right? And in this society that we live in today, these people are in high regard. They're in high regards, right? People like Jay-Z, people like Beyonce, people like Skeng, the dancehall artist, people like Valiant, another dancehall artist, right? He has a song called Science, right? Where he's talking about meeting with somebody who has familiar spirits, right? So when these people are singing their songs, we regard them, right? But we're not supposed to regard them. It says, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them, right? So every time you do this, what are you doing? You're defiled. You're defiling yourself. Okay? So let's go back to this. These men are all defiling themselves. These are all defiled men.
Well, I believe in spiritual Jamaicans and the world shall see. We are going to check the ancestors. Yo. Call out to the ancestors. Call out to the ancestors.
Right? And you might think that this is a joke, but these guys are being serious, man. Right? They're being serious, and they're playing with fire, but they know that they're playing with fire because the majority of you Israelites, you have sold yourself for monetary gain, for money. Right? That's why you guys are going deep into these things, because can you do these things? Yes, you can. Meaning that these things do work. Are these things lawful? Let's find out. This is Exodus 22 verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So what's going to be the end of you people who are into these type of practices? Death. This is Jeremiah 14 and 20. We acknowledge, O Lord, our wickedness. Right? Who's acknowledging the wickedness? Right? The men who are trying to serve the Lord to the best of their abilities now. The men who are in this truth, right? And the men who are learning about this truth. And you women as well, right? We acknowledge, O Lord, our wickedness and the iniquity of our fathers, for we have sinned against thee. So why would you be calling upon the ancestors? Don't you know our ancestors were wicked? We're cleaning up ourselves right now. Right now, we're cleaning up ourselves and we're preparing for the Lord to come. You calling upon the ancestors. Our ancestors were wicked as hell. Wicked as hell in times past. Who are you going to call upon? Our ancestors when they were in Egypt? They were wicked, right? They were worshiping the goat. Who are you going to call upon? Our ancestors when we were ruling in Europe? Right? When we were kings and we were princesses, yeah, you're going to call upon them. Well, they were wicked too. They were wicked Israelites. They were just in power. Okay? Who are you going to call upon? You're going to call upon Saul? Huh? You're going to call upon Saul? Well, Saul was wicked, man. He was a wicked man. This is Jeremiah 44 and 9. Have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers and the wickedness of the kings of Judah? and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? Right? So who are you going to call upon? When you're calling upon things, you have to understand the entities that you're calling upon as well. But look at a righteous man like Samuel. Samuel was a righteous man, and he said, "Why have you disquieted me?" Right? So you're not supposed to be calling upon no ancestors, man. You Israelites are not supposed to call upon no ancestors. This is 1 Samuel 9:9. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of Yahweh, thus he spake, "Come and let us go to the seer, for he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer." So how do you inquire of the Lord? Remember, there was 3 ways to inquire of the Lord, right? By the dream. Dream is very, very important, right? Because the Most High will come to you in dreams, right? Also a seer, aka a prophet, and also the Urim. Okay? Also the Urim. Right? So that's the only ways that we can inquire of the Lord. This is 2 Kings 1:16. And this whole chapter is good because it goes into the exploits of King Uzziah. I think his father's name was Ahab. His mother was Jezebel. And he was an idolater. And he was a worshiper of Beelzebub, right? Which was it was a Philistine god. And this is 2 Kings 1:16. And he said unto him, "Thus said the Lord, for as much as thou hast sent messengers to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, it is not because there is no God in Israel." Right? It's see, there was a small g and then there's a big G. Right? The true God in Israel to inquire of his word. Therefore thou shalt not come down off that bed on which thou art gone up, but shall surely die. And that's what happened to him. He died. He went to inquire of the god Beelzebub to see if he would get better because he was sick. Uzziah. And who was it? It was the prophet. Let's get it. Hold on. I don't want to say the wrong thing. It was Elijah. Yeah, it was Elijah. It was Elijah. This is Acts 19:19, and I'm going to end it off here. It says, "Many of them also which use curious arts," right? What is that talking about? That's talking about witchcraft, "brought their books together and burned them before all men, and they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver." Right? So none of this is new. Right? So what you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are doing today is nothing new. And any of you that are doing that are going to be judged. Calling upon your ancestors, right? Going to people who have familiar spirits, people that are walking with demons. You people will be judged. Remember that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Right? And with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and elder apostles of GMS that rule well and that teach well. And to the brothers on the 4 corners of the earth doing this work in truth and in sincerity. Shalom. Till next time.